Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. In the previous video, I have explained to you about the nature of how we can use all the existing modality within the framework of psychology, especially CBT, DBT, MCBT, and all the other related multi-system, family-based type of protocol and so on. So what is important is for us to understand that when we are talking about positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy, we are absorbing the CBT aspect of it, but we are extending it beyond just the cognitive aspect of the brain and the biological self, because this is very important, because when you say the P is positive, I is Islamic, when we talk about Islamic, then we have to encompass the whole thing. And in my previous talk, I explained to you the role of how this whole system from the SEMP, spiritual, emotional, mental realm, from how we moved on from our cognitive, intuitive, from the cognitive to the intuitive, that there is the feelings, emotion, FET cycle, and the TEF cycle within CBT. Okay, so I have also explained to you previously the nature of the self within the framework of positive Islamic psychology. Alright, we have this model. This is model we derive from the great scholars Imam Ghazali and all the other great scholars, where we say that our functional self, as we exist in the azali, in our original form, the fitrah that Allah has given us is our qalb, our ruh, and our akal. They are all simultaneously existent in the various realms, and they are one and the same thing, and they are interchangeable. That means we are talking about the heart, the ruh, and the akal working in synergy, or integrated, or in coherence. So we are not talking about just the, now they are talking about the heart coherence, coherence of the heart intelligent, heart coherence. In Islam, we go beyond that, because as we live in this world, we have the qalb, ruh, akal, and nafs. Our jasad and our nafs is the interplay between the four realms of existence that we are living in this world. So in the original form, this is the representative diagram. As I said, this is just a representation only, but it succinctly explains that our self is not only the ruh, not only the akal, but also the qalb, the heart. And the heart will be the loci of control as we exist in this world. So the qalb will be the central focus. And when we talk about heart intelligence or heart focus or the intuitive heart, we are talking about the heart, which also include from the Islamic perspective, because for the non-Muslims, they just take this as heart and that's it. But for us, we have the spirit and the akal built in, and how it is communicated and what are the ideas behind it and so on. Inshallah, I'll just give you some idea today. So as we develop, if we take this model now, alright, this is the same model, but we are just linking them together. That means the nafs, the self, I'm just putting it in such a way that the self is here as we live in this world, the mind, the heart, and the spirit, they're all linked together, and the nafs is right in the center, the self or the being or the nature of consciousness, and how we develop at various levels. At the physical level, we understand that if we talk about the neuroscience of the secular atheistic approach, that our physical body, this jasad, which includes the brain, so one aspect of the brain is somewhere here. Alright, so this is the brain. So it's the interplay between your organ, yourself, and the brain. Alright, so because you only exist in a physical plane, you do not have the mind, you do not have the heart, you do not have the ruh. So because of that, the interplay is only at this level. So the psychology in terms of CBT, alright, if you talk about the psychology at CBT, you're talking about this, alright. When they talk about mindfulness, then you have the MBCT. All right, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy and so on, the DBT, and etc. etc. So many of them, they are moving into this aspect of akal, one small aspect. So the same thing, this aspect of the brain and the body is all and be all, is also developed into DSM-5. When you talk about DSM-5, it's again, it is based on the formulation of the physical self. That means it's the brain and the physical organ and the body that's interactive and affecting your behavior. All right, they are not moving into even to this, because whatever that you can see in the physical manifestation is built into the DSM-5 and even the CBT. Even though now it is moving into MBCT and DBT and so on, they cannot accept that. So how are we as Muslims going to understand? Because now we are moving into understanding of the, for example, they're talking about the intuitive-based civilization, the heart-based civilization, the post-materialist-based civilization. Because as we go along, we'll understand that the heart is more than that. So how are we going to understand this? Because when we talk about the Kalb, the mind and the Roh, it has means of communication. How are we going to communicate at that level? Because it is not just here at this level we are talking about electrical signal from the brain to your body and that affects your behavior, or the neuronal hormones that's affecting your thinking, your thoughts, your behavior and so on. So this is at this level. But at this level, we are talking beyond quantum entanglement, because here we are talking about that we are living and understanding a higher level of scientific understanding. For example, if we talk about the heart, because remember when we talk about the heart from the Islamic perspective, it also includes the mind and the Roh. And again, there is a lot of misunderstanding, because when they talk about the heart, they talk about, for example, the heart emits electromagnetic wave with that you can sense it 3 to 5 feet away from you and even further. So there is this electromagnetic wave, okay, wave from the energy, electromagnetism, okay. So this wave of energy, all right, how far it goes and why it is there and why it is interacting, it is something that we have to study. But this electromagnetism from your heart, which is signaling throughout your whole body, is enveloping you, is going on and on and on all the time. It is also interacting with the electromagnetic wave of others. That means people who are close to you, all right, and also the electromagnetic wave of this earth, as well as the electromagnetic wave of this universe. So we are interacting together at the level of electromagnetism. But electromagnetism is an energy, a form of energy, just like light energy, okay, just like electrical energy. It is one form of energy. But this is where we understand that the heart now play a better role. So if we talk about the heart now, we can say that it has electromagnetic wave that's affecting your whole body. Not only your body, but the next person, until the whole universe. So there is this field that now is scientifically proven. The second thing is the heart has a brain. All right, now they have this field of neurocardiology. Neuro means brain, cardiology means the heart. So neurocardiology is a new study where they say there are more than 50,000 neurons in your heart itself. So these neurons is giving signal to your brain, and the brain is giving signal to the heart. So there is an intercommunication between the heart and the brain. But they did a lot of studies and they found that the signal from the brain is much more, 5,000 times more or a few thousand times more. That means the feedback from the heart to the brain is much faster. That means it is the brain that is controlling the heart, not the other way around, not the heart controlling the brain. And this is now in the field of neurocardiology. They are studying this, why this phenomena is existing and what is the meaning behind it. For Islam, I will tell you there is no problem, because we know of the fullness of our existence from the aspect of the spiritual, emotional, mental and physical. So we know how to actually relate to the nature of this communication. The third thing is the electric field. The heart, all right, emits EEG signal which is 60 times stronger than the brain. So why is it so? All right. Not only that, they have the electromagnetic wave, they have the electrical field within the heart that is sending signal throughout the whole body. And then we have the heart magnetic field, which is 5,000 times more than the brain. So it is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. So even though we say that we think with the brain, now we have to say that we are thinking and feeling and realizing with the heart. Okay, that's why they are talking about this intensive study into the heart-based type of behavioral change that we can work on. All right, and then they also found out that the heart also produces neuropeptide. They have this atriopeptin. Okay, atriopeptin is a hormone that is produced by your heart that can control your cortisol. So if your stress level is very high, if you can control your heart, then you can actually change the situation from fight, flight, stress response to a calming, peaceful response. So all these things now shows that now we have transcend from here to here to here. All right, so we can accept that. All right, modern science now is saying that, okay, we can accept our existence from this point, all right, to this point. Not all of it, because, okay, so we say about that. All right, so we are perfectly happy with this development because we are talking about the nature of the self that transcends the physical world. So I'm going to discuss our nafs, our self and our being, as mentioned in the other diagram that I have shown you. That is the model of Islamic self that was revealed upon our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and was elaborated in detail by our great scholars some 1,000 years ago. So it is not something that is awkward for Islam. It is normal and it is useful. But when we talk about this, we have to go at another level. That means from the Islamic perspective of Pi-CBT, we not only take this from here, we go back to the full. That means this is Pi-CBT and Islamic psychology. So the whole field of Islamic psychology is this integration of your physical self, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. All right. So if they have stopped at this level, heart-based civilization, heart-based therapy, we are going one step further because we know we have the spirit. And if we have the spirit, we understand from the perspective of the S, E, M, and P, the four rims that I'm mentioning as we live on this earth, how would be the nafs and the self be emanating? How would it be communicating? At this level, we believe at the roh level, or the spiritual level, it is a spiritual communication. Allah tells us He is Allahu Nurus Samawati wal Ard. He is the light of the heavens and the earth. All right, but that light is not the physical light, not the photons that we see from the transmission of, for example, the double slit experiment of, say, quantum mechanics or quantum physics. It is beyond that. So if they are talking about this quantum entanglement, yes, maybe quantum entanglement takes place in the physical body, the mind, and the heart, and the roh, but the communication, the nature of consciousness in Islam is so much more, I would say, advanced, so much more truthful, so much more real, because we are talking about the spiritual reality. So when we talk about this spirituality, what are the benefits? All right, there are so many things that we can understand, because then we are talking about consciousness of the self that is beyond the physical. That means we talk about the consciousness as a Muslim, that we are conscious at the physical level, at the mind level, at the heart level, and at the spiritual level. So when we do that, how we achieve all those things? Those were all the great scholars, the Tasawwuf scholars, the Sufi masters, and so on. They have done a lot of studies, reflection, muhasabah, muraqabah, worship, and so on, until this door of knowledge opened to them. But we cannot take shortcut. Naturally, there are a lot of people who are saying about, things that are quite very, very, I would say, incorrect, because they have not have the experiential idea of consciousness at the highest level of spirit. For example, they may have consciousness at the level of the mind. Alhamdulillah, that's good. They have consciousness at the level of the heart, alhamdulillah, that is good. But do they have the consciousness at the level of the spirit, at the highest level? This is where there is no shortcut. So in Islam, at the level in which Allah communicates with us, at the level of the spirit, it is only known to Allah, because Allah tells us about the nature of the spirit. It is only known to Him, but He tells us succinctly that we are a spiritual being because He blew His spirit into us. And how we communicate, whether it is through the means of all the means, that means if you look at this, there are so many means. That means it is either through electrical wave, through what do you call it, biochemical hormones, through the mind, all right, through the heart using a light wave, possible photon, through quantum entanglement, through at the highest level, that is spirituality. So the consciousness, if you understand this, then you understand the beauty of Islam. Remember, people are searching for the purpose and meaning of the self. People are trying to actually explain the nature of consciousness. In Islam, we have no dichotomy. The nature of consciousness is beautiful. And if you can harness this nature at the level of the S, E, M, and P, there are so many benefits. What are the benefits? Maybe I just give you some idea. One thing is, when we can use this S, E, M, P consciousness within ourselves, that at every level of thinking, we are thinking at the physical level, at the mind level, at the heart level, at the spiritual level. They all, most important, we must know all these four things is integrated. So the term you must know is integration. Integration. This is one. Secondly is synergy. And thirdly is coherence. Okay, so these three are very important, because from the physical level, the mind level, the heart level, and the spiritual level, if it is integrated, we have so many benefits that will give us a wonderful achievement in terms of Iman, in terms of our relationship with Allah, in terms of our relationship with other human beings, and so on. So what are those aspects? One is when we are assessing the SEMP aspect of consciousness. One is we have a holistic connection with all. Connection with Allah, connection with ourselves, connection with our family, connection with the community, with the society, that means the SFCG. Connection with the SFCG. What is SFCG? SFCG. Self, all right, family, community, and global. So we have this link. So that is the benefit of understanding Islamic psychology. It's so intense, and inshallah, if you do more research, then we can tell the world, this is the wonderful thing about Islam. So this is the wonderful thing about you wanting to achieve happiness, peace, fulfillment, achievement, and eternal life, because that is the nature of religion in Islam. Number two, develop stronger connection and a sense of closeness and intimacy. That means closeness and intimacy first at the level in which we are seeking to be close, or to be near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's our creator, and to realize His grandeur, and to have some knowledge of the reality of our existence vis-a-vis why we are on this earth, where we are going to after we die, what is the purpose of our existence, because Allah tells us very clearly in the Quran about why our life is with a purpose. We are created to be His Khalifa on this earth. We are created to do good, to help others to be good, to make this world good, and to live a life full of meaning, purpose, and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and love of ourselves, the family, the community, and globally all human beings and all creatures in this universe. Number three is we fully embrace the SEMP intelligence. So if people say that they have this heart intelligence, alhamdulillah, we are 100% behind them, but we'll tell them, why not we grow from just the heart intelligence to the fullness of the qalb and the fullness of the spirit, and inshallah we will have a higher level of achievement. Number four, once we embrace these four integrated level of intelligences, we then can manage the negative thoughts. Remember, I have explained to you the TEF, thought, emotion, feeling cycle within cognitive behavior therapy, and our intuitive, FET, feeling, emotion, and thoughts at the intuitive level, which is 3 to 5 seconds earlier than even the physical existence. How this is being communicated, again, they are talking about quantum entanglement. We are talking it beyond that. We are talking about the spiritual imprint that Allah has given us, and that our nature of consciousness is the completion of communication and realization with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the spiritual, at the heart level, at the mind level, and at the jasad level. And most important, when we realize this Islamic psychology approach and Pi-CBT approach, what we want to do, we want to heal the psychological challenges of humanity today, because humanity today is living in a rut. We are having so much psychological problems, as I've mentioned in the earlier videos, that we have to find a way out in which we can receive some sort of coaching and mentoring. We can then self-heal ourselves through the idea of which I am going to develop, inshallah, with the grace of Allah, of Pi-CBT. That means we are going to heal and develop a protocol or a way out in which each and every one of us who realize the whole capacity to heal and live a good life of iman, of peace, of happiness, and of love, of mercy, of empathy, of compassion, and kindness and gentleness, and so much of these things, that we can have a wonderful life, which is easily, inshallah, can be achieved if we follow the path of Islam. All right, number 5, we have closeness to Allah. That means His divine love, which is all the very essence of our existence. And then number 6 is for us to impact the world with positive, wonderful approach of Islam. Remember the Islam that is the self that is being developed with closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and closeness to the family, to the community, to the global, to the world and the universe. An Islam that is based on love, mercy, compassion, an Islam that is based on gentleness and kindness, an Islam that is based on empathy. So many of these beautiful things. And when we're able to absorb and direct ourselves, and through this work of positive Islamic psychology, I hope more and more of you do more studies. These are some summation of what I can conclude for you to reflect upon. And if you can find a better model, inshallah, share with us. Just like I'm sharing with you in this YouTube, as many videos as possible, inshallah, as my life mission and vision, inshallah, to promote positive Islamic psychology and to promote positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy as one of the means and one of the ways to help make this ummah the leading ummah in the 21st century, inshallah.